By this time in the day, I assume the basic facts are clear. There's a need for expanded banking services for families of moderate means. The traditional banking industry no longer works for about a quarter of the people in this country. 28% of all households, 68 million people, rely on non-bank financial services like check cashing or payday lending. And the cost of these services is extraordinary. In 2012, the average annual income for these families was about $25,300, and they spent an average of $2,400 on interest and fees for non-bank financial services. Think about that. That was just under 10% of their annual income, or about the same amount that they spent on food. When more than a quarter of this country is spending about the same amount on basic financial services as they are spending on food, we have a market failure. The first question I get about postal banking is, how can the Postal Service expand to offer financial services when it's already losing money? Well, true. The Postal Service reported losses of about $5 billion during its most recent fiscal year. But all of those losses and more were the result of a bizarre requirement that Congress and the Bush administration imposed on the Postal Service in 2006. They suddenly required the Postal Service to pre-fund health benefit payments for retirees for the next 75 years and to satisfy that requirement in the next 10 years. The next concern I hear about the Postal Service management is that the management and employees lack the experience and training needed to offer basic financial products like savings accounts and small dollar loans. This is the kind of claims I hear from big banks in particular. This stuff is just too complicated, just leave it to us. Well, I don't buy it. Once the basic business model is set up, payday lenders and check cashing outlets are providing these services right now in storefronts, drugstores, and grocery stores all across the country and raking in billions of dollars in profits. Once the basic model is set up, Postal Service employees could certainly manage the transactions. In fact, Postal Service employees are already providing relatively complicated financial services like international remittances. Surely, with a little training, they could cash a check or open a basic savings account. If post offices teamed up with their closest credit unions or community banks, they could provide a pathway for millions of people into the traditional banking system. Over time, people who routinely use lower-cost services at a local post office might be encouraged to take out a car loan or to open up a checking account at a local credit union or community bank. That's a win-win. More people with access to traditional banking and more small banks with access to new customers. It's not unusual to think of the post office as a place where basic consumer financial services are handled. It's true in Japan, it's true in Germany, other places throughout Europe. It's been done successfully. There's nothing extraordinary about this business model. This is just an opportunity for the post office to use its space and to use its employees more efficiently to bring needed services to more Americans.